Hi everyone, Jamie here with Sweet Pickins. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. So there's a lot going on around here, guys. So you're gonna hear lots of noise. The puppy dogs are running around. You can see we've got a Final Four basketball game on in the front room. We've got muffins, vanilla muffins on the counter for tomorrow for Easter. We are having strawberry shortcake because I was able to get some really yummy strawberries. So I decided to do a vanilla cake with them. And then I've got another batch in the oven right now. So you guys saw me this morning. I actually did a video this morning making puff pastries. Then we had to do a whole bunch of errands. So we got back home and I have just been doing all sorts of prep and everything for Easter. So I wanted to bring you guys along while I make my macaroni salad. So we have a really big menu tomorrow. We have a huge variety. So I'll talk to you guys about that later, but we have a big variety because we have people coming and I don't know what they like. So we're gonna do some pasta and we're gonna do some roasted garlic potatoes and we're gonna do some macaroni salad and we're gonna do vegetables and a fresh salad and la 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 la. So we have a lot going on. So I want to make my macaroni salad and I thought I would bring you guys along. So as you guys can see, I've already done the macaroni. The macaroni has been done and it has completely cooled. So that is in the bowl. So I'll go through exactly what you guys need, how to do it, and we'll put it together. Okay, so I started out with 4 cups of macaroni. So same thing, you just boil it. I put a tiny bit of salt in the water, boil it, and then you want to make sure that it is completely cooled before you start working with it. So I transfer it, I put it in a colander, transferred it into a bowl, okay? So I'm gonna set this aside while we are working on some other things. So I wanted to bring you guys along and not pre-chop my eggs. So if you guys have a hard time with eggs, make sure you watch my video of how to hard boil an egg that comes out clean. I've got 8 eggs here and not one of them has any missing. They peel like a dream. If you do exactly how I did it in the video, you will have so much success. However, in my macaroni salad or potato salad, I do extra eggs. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I did 8 in here. In my potato salad, I only do 6. So I wanted to make sure I did 8. So these are already peeled, hard-boiled, peeled, cooled. Everything is good to go on these. So definitely watch that video if you want to just peel the perfect eggs. So I just got done doing a whole nother batch of eggs for deviled eggs tomorrow. So those are separate. They're actually in the cooling bath right now. And so I will peel those tonight, put them in the fridge, and make them tomorrow after we get home from church. So I have a manual chopper. I also have a food processor. I also have an electric chopper. So I have all these options. But to be honest with you, when I'm making this, I like my eggs to be big and small and all the things and not perfect. I really like the eggs to set a presence. So what I like to do is literally just cut these in half and then just chop them. No rhyme, no reason. So you don't have to do it this way. You guys can use whatever means you need. However, I prefer to do it this way just because, again, I want some big and some small. And I do extra eggs in macaroni salad because I just think the eggs add so much texture and flavor. And honestly, doing it manually like this, just hone in on your grandma because this is what your grandma had to do. She probably had no electric, anything like that. So I just want to just kind of roughly chop them, and then we will have a really good variety of sizes. I always do it in half, and then I'll do it several slices, and then I'll chop them down. So this is kind of, I just wanted you guys to see this. That's why I didn't pre-do the eggs. You can hear the puppy dogs run around. They're like, please drop some treats. We really don't give our dogs people food unless I happen to be cooking and I happen to drop them. But when I'm baking or I'm doing any of that, they are not even in my vicinity. They just happen to be out right now because I am just making some macaroni salad, and we're actually going to go outside. It is late here, but I'm going to go outside and go kind of work on our lights. We've done some changes in our backyard. I can't wait to show you guys. And so we had to move some of our strands of lights. If you guys have been around for a while and seen the Sweet Pickens page, we have whiskey barrels with concrete and 4x4s that we turned into light poles a few years ago, and we had them lining our patio, 4 of them on each 4 corner of our patio. However, with these changes, that no longer can be. So we have to move them. So I did move them, but I did not hook up all the lights. And then if you guys have been following me since last year, you guys saw we had a really bad windstorm and our entire pergola, well, it wasn't a pergola, it was a canopy, like a pop-up tent that I had put lights in and a chandelier, and I had it so cute. And we had 60-mile-an-hour winds, and the winds took the sucker to the neighbor's house, literally. So anyway, okay, so you can see they're all chopped up, really rustic, just totally fine. So I'm gonna set those aside. Let's bring the macaroni back down. Now we are going to add in, I like Best Foods mayonnaise. So this is what I do. I'm starting with what I think I'm gonna need, and then I'm gonna add to if needed. So I'm gonna start with 1.5 cups. So that's what I think I'm gonna need, but sometimes you just don't know until you really get in here and kind of mix everything around. So I've got the mayonnaise in here. So what I'm gonna do is, while I'm mixing this, you're gonna need 1 whole onion. Now this is the bottom part of my manual chopper. So it has these 2 blades, and you literally just pull it. It has a lid, you pull it and it twists it. It's the coolest thing. However, again, the eggs, I want them to be, big and small and all the things. So I did 1 medium size onion. So we're gonna put that in. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna stir this. Let's kind of try to get this incorporated. We're gonna wait until after we have everything in to see if we are gonna need any more mayonnaise. I like to, remember, you can add, you just can't take away. So I like to really wait till everything is incorporated so that I can decide if I need more. I like my macaroni salad to not be dry. I want everything coated. I just want it to be creamy. That is really, really important to me. Have you guys ever had macaroni salad where it's not creamy and the mixture is not on all the macaroni, and it's just, yeah, all the things. Okay, so we're gonna stop. So we've incorporated a lot of it. So I am going to add salt and pepper to taste. What does that mean? Whatever you like. So I'm usually a little heavy-handed with our pepper, and I do use sea salt. So I am fairly light-handed with my sea salt because it's sea salt. So let's mix that in. And we'll probably come back in with a little more pepper. And if you have a humongous bowl, it's probably easier. I honestly just did not want to dig it out. It's at the very back of my baking closet. And I would have to move, it would take me a half hour to move everything out of the way to get it. And I was like, the heck with that. So let's just do a little more pepper. And again, this is to taste. We're gonna hold off on the salt until we try it. You gotta try it in order to know if you need more salt. And then a little trick that I do is I actually try to make this the night before so it can sit and chill in the fridge overnight. So tomorrow's Easter. And so I want this just to marinate because this kind of stuff is always better the next day. Plus it has to be cold, guys. In order for it to be really, really, really yummy, it has to be cold. Okay, hold on 1 second. I felt like it was a little dark, so I just turned on my dining room lights, which are insanely bright. So, all right, so I just incorporated this. So when I put it in the fridge tonight, I'm gonna let it sit, and I'll try it in the morning when it's cold. And if I feel I need any more salt at that point, that's when I put it in. I never put it in. I put in the initial, and I never go back in and put any in until it is cold and I can try it, because salt can ruin your dish so quick. So, all right, let's incorporate all these eggs. And listen, if you don't like eggs, you don't have to put this many in. I just find putting in 8 eggs just adds texture, flavor. It's so perfect. But you can see my bowl here is getting full. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna put in is we're gonna put in some sweet relish. Now, we're gonna put in 4 tablespoons. Now, I like to do a sweet relish that has pimentos in it, the little red. If you don't know what those are, just the little red pieces. This is a sweet relish. This is Del Monte. So we're gonna do 4 tablespoons. And honestly, ooh, it smells so good. I kind of do heaping. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And another thing is if it has juice, I don't drain the juice out. Just bring the juice with it. So let's just do the 4. It probably won't need any more than 4. I like it to have a sweet flavor, but not overpowering. And this is another thing that's going to add just a little bit of crunch, a little bit of texture, a little bit more, flavor profile. So you're going to just want to really get this mixed in. So let's recap. We did 4 cups of macaroni that we cooked. I used the elbows. You don't have to use the elbows. You honestly can use anything that you would like. We used 8 hard-boiled eggs. We used 1 finely chopped medium onion. We did salt and pepper to taste. We did 1.5 cups starting out with mayonnaise. Now I can see there I don't know. I'm gonna finish this up. I'm thinking that I may add a little bit more, but then again, I might not have to once I get all the relish incorporated, because this definitely helps to pull it all together and add a little bit of smoothness and creaminess to your macaroni salad. So, and then with the relish, we do 4 tablespoons. So guys, the key is to just keep mixing this. When you think that it's all mixed, just keep mixing. But you can see this is a nice hearty, this bowl is huge. And honestly, this probably weighs 15 pounds. I work with babies every day, and this feels like a baby. Maybe even more than 15 pounds. This is heavy. So when you start getting all those elements, so I'm thinking I'm not gonna add any more mayonnaise. I think let's go ahead and wait and see. If after it's cold, you find that it's a little stiff and not as creamy, add some in. It does not matter when you put that in. It does not matter. Just make sure you incorporate it. But a lot of times you're gonna really get the true flavor after it's been in the fridge for 8-10 hours. And you're gonna see if you need more pepper, more salt, any more mayonnaise. So I kind of like to gauge it that way. Now let's talk about a few extra things that you can add into macaroni salad. You can add in bell pepper. You can add in like a red pepper. Some people use green pepper, okay? You can add green onion instead of a regular onion, or you could do a Vidalia onion, which will add a little more sweetness. Some people will put chopped celery in their macaroni salad. Some people will put carrots in their macaroni salad. So, you know what, guys, you can customize this any way you like. Some people will put mayonnaise and Miracle Whip in, and that is something I do occasionally. I will put Miracle Whip and mayonnaise in. So when you're gonna wanna do that, that adds just a different flavor, complete different flavor. So tomorrow after it's really cold, I can really assess the flavor, because right now, the macaroni's not really warm and the eggs weren't really warm and this isn't really warm. However, it's not cold and chilled. And that's where you really get the true flavor of your macaroni salad. So that's where we can say, okay, let's add a little more mayonnaise, or hey, let's add a little Miracle Whip to add a little bit of flavor. Let's add a little more salt. You don't have to use sea salt. You can use any kind of salt. You can use Himalayan salt. You can use regular table salt, whatever you'd like. So guys, I think this personally feels really creamy. It feels like ready to go in the fridge. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover this with saran wrap. You're gonna wanna make sure that you seal this sucker up. You put it in the back of your fridge, wherever it gets the coldest, put it in there, let it sit. So it is 8:30 here right now. So it is going to be in the fridge until morning. And I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna pull it out, I'm gonna try it, and I'm going to see if it needs anything else. If I wanna add a little more mayonnaise, or a little more salt, or a little bit more pepper, or a little bit of Miracle Whip. It just kind of depends. Honestly, the only thing most likely it's going to need is maybe a little more mayonnaise, just to make it a little more creamy, and maybe a little more salt, because I only went through one time with salt and maybe a little bit of pepper. But we'll see. So guys, this is such an easy recipe to do, and it is so yummy. Just remember to prepare ahead of time for this. So you could see the muffins on the back. So if you guys saw my video on making strawberry shortcake, I used angel food cake with that, but I told you guys that vanilla cupcakes are so yummy, and that's actually the other batch done right now. So they're so yummy. And so what I'm planning on doing is taking the muffins, cutting them in half, and filling them up with the strawberries that I put with vanilla and brown sugar. And I will make those in the morning. I do not want them sitting all night long. So I'll make those in the morning, and they will be so yummy. So those are another option. You don't have to do angel food cake. And I did put them in muffins because it just gives you a perfect little presentation. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys so much supporting my small business. I would love it if you would like this video and press the subscribe button. And don't forget, you can shop us here in Sparks, Nevada. We have a brick and mortar inside painted tree. You guys can shop us. We're the back left corner. We're in space W1. We have a big chandelier and country music playing all the time. They are open 7 days a week. You also can follow us at our website, shopsweetpickens.com. So there's decorating ideas, and there's a blog, and there's, of course, a place where you guys can shop. So there's really fun stuff there. Also, if you want to follow us on any of our social medias, you just have to type in Sweet Pickens Reno, Pickins Reno. You'll find us there. We do reels, we do stories, we do all sorts of things like in real time that you could follow us there. So we would love that too. And that's on Facebook and Instagram. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I hope you all have a blessed Easter. And I'll be back on with, I'm sure, some more stuff that I'm doing for Easter.